It was a quiet night. The kind of night where nothing ever happens, until a woman picked up her phone, dialed 911, and said something no one expected. "I think I just killed someone." But here's the part that confused the operator. Her voice wasn't panicked. It wasn't shaking. It was calm, too calm. Police arrived at the scene within minutes. The house looked normal. Lights were on. No signs of forced entry, no screams, no chaos. Just silence, absolute heavy silence. When officers entered the living room, they found a man lying on the floor, not moving, not breathing, and sitting just a few feet away was the woman who made the call, hands resting on her lap, face expressionless. She didn't try to run. She didn't say a word. She just looked at them and said, "I told you I did it." At first, the case seemed simple. A confession, a body, no signs of struggle. Open and shut, right? That's what everyone thought. Until the investigation began. Because something wasn't adding up. There were no defensive wounds, no weapon in her hand, no fingerprints on anything suspicious. And the strangest part? The victim, her husband, had been dead for hours, long before she made that call. Dead, just absolute silence.
So why did she confess? Detectives started digging deeper into their life. From the outside, they looked like a normal couple. Married for 8 years, no criminal record, no history of violence. But behind closed doors, things were very different. Friends later revealed the relationship wasn't just toxic, it was controlling. The husband monitored everything. Her phone, her messages, even when she left the house. She wasn't allowed to work, wasn't allowed to meet friends. Some said she lived like a prisoner inside her own home. But here's where it gets disturbing. There were no police reports, no complaints, no evidence, nothing that proved abuse, just stories. So in court, those stories meant nothing. Prosecutors had one clear argument. She confessed. And that's powerful, because in the eyes of the law, confessions don't lie. But the defense had a different story. They claimed something shocking. She didn't kill him. She believed she did. Now that changed everything. A psychological evaluation was ordered, and what doctors discovered sent shockwaves through the courtroom. The woman was suffering from severe trauma, years of control, isolation, emotional manipulation. It had rewired how she thought, how she processed reality. According to experts, she had reached a point where her mind could no longer separate fear from truth. On the night of the incident, her husband had collapsed suddenly. Natural causes, a hidden medical condition. But she didn't know that. All she knew was this. For years, she had been told everything was her fault. Every argument, every problem, every mistake. So when he fell, her brain filled in the answer instantly. "I did this." And she believed it. Completely. That's why she called 911. That's why she confessed. Not because she was guilty, but because she had been conditioned to feel guilty. For everything. The courtroom was divided. Some people saw a victim. Others saw a murderer trying to escape justice. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. What do you do when someone confesses to a crime that never actually happened? The prosecution didn't back down. They argued. She knew what she was saying. She understood her words. And she admitted it clearly. But the defense asked one simple question. Is a confession still valid if the mind behind it is broken? The jury sat in silence. Days of testimony, psychologists, neighbors, experts, each one painting a different version of reality. And then the verdict came, not guilty. The courtroom exploded. Some people cried, some were furious, others just sat there, confused. Because even after the verdict, one question remained. If she didn't kill him, why does it still feel like a crime happened? She walked free that day, but her life was never the same. Some people still believe she got away with something. Others believe she survived something far worse than prison. And maybe the truth lies somewhere in between. Because not all prisons have bars. Some exist in the mind. And sometimes, the most dangerous thing isn't a weapon,
It's what someone makes you believe about yourself.